Yes, people, welcome back to Mission Podcast. And today we have a very special episode for you. We're joined by a very special guest, a veteran of the sport of MMA, one of the most beloved figures in sport. He is a fan favorite who is connected with fans across the world, known for his courage, heart, authenticity, never saying no to a fight, always stepping up on short notice, and doing it with his trademark smile. He's had a career that spanned about 50 fights over the UFC, Bellator, Maximum Fighting Championship, and he is currently the reigning and defending heavyweight champion of karate combat. Yes, the one and only Mr. Sam Alvey. We're joined by him today. How are you, Sam?
I am doing wonderful, and what an introduction. Although I do have to correct you, I am both the heavyweight and light heavyweight champion of karate
Whoa.
combat.
Whoa.
He's got both. He's got both. Now, Sam, with your last fight, Tyrone Spong was a huge favorite. You came up with the upset. How was the preparation for that fight, especially with his extensive kickboxing background? And was the fight any different from how you thought it would be?
I didn't quite know what to expect. I didn't know how much he was going to kick because the last time he had really been in a kickboxing fight, he broke his leg. And then he went into it, just devastated everyone in boxing. And then he had one MMA fight, and then he fought me. I suppose he had two MMA fights. So I didn't know what to expect. I was ready for everything. I was ready to get kicked. And he kicked me one time, and good God, does he kick hard. So I was happy he only kicked me one time. But it was just so much fun getting to fight someone of such well renown.
Yeah.
Sam, you've been fighting for nearly 18 years, which is a crazy amount of time. What would you say is your proudest achievement?
Proudest achievement in the ring. Just making it to the UFC was huge. It's something most fighters never get to do. And then I had 24 fights in the organization, and that's something nobody gets to do. John Jones doesn't have that many fights in the UFC. And so it's I don't know if I have a particularly proudest moment, but I am very proud of what I've been able to do. Because I was a band nerd. I've been you see my stuff. I've got guitars and trumpets and pianos and a bass guitar. I was a band nerd. I wasn't supposed to be a fighter, and then it turned out I was.
What was your favorite instrument?
A trumpet. Trumpet's the only one I was really good at. I like my ukulele. I have a lot of fun with that one, but the trumpet was what I was best at.
Sam, just touching on the Tyrone Spong fight. Um, was his boxing ability something you thought about going into that fight? Obviously, he's got an undefeated boxing record, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's 14-0 in boxing. So it wasn't so much his boxing ability that I was thinking about. It was how hard he hits. I know I'm the hardest hitter that has ever stepped in the ring. I've just never been tested. So I hit harder than Pereira, than Nagano, than Joe Piper. I hit it harder than all of them. I've just never tested it. But I know he held the record for a long time. I know how hard he hits. And so it's not that I thought he was going to outbox me. I just knew all he had to do was touch me once. So a similar thought I have when I'm fighting anyone is I just have to touch him once. And it's not often I fight somebody where that thought is in my brain.
Yeah, spot on.
Sam, obviously we've mentioned you've had a career spanning probably over 18 years now. If you could look back on your career, is there a fight that, I don't know, keeps you up at night that you think you'd love to have run back, or something that you thought I could have won that fight easily?
I never liked rematches that much. At the end of the day, I'm only going to have so many fights before my body gives out. Why fight the same guy over and over again? So I've never been one for rematches. The one fight, I had that terrible streak in the UFC towards the end, but 3 or 4 of those fights, I was robbed. And so I may not want to fight the opponent again, but I'd love to fight the judges. Maybe three on one. I'd be good with that.
Sam, you've had over 50 training camps. Is there a moment which you think was like the funniest or the strangest that's ever happened during fight week?
So really, I've got over 80 fights. I've been fighting for a long time. A lot of them aren't recorded. But I'm over 80, which is another cool thing about Tyrone Spong. Not many people have more fights than me. He has more fights than me. Rotten guy. He's got 107 or something close to it. I'm stuck at measly. Ridiculous. And now I forgot your question. What was your question?
What's the funniest or strangest thing that's happened during a fight week?
Well, I am the kick him in the dick guy. That was, I was in Australia fighting Dylan Andrews, and the audience was silent. They were watching. We were early in the card, and that one guy yells, "I'd kick him in the dick," and that was I get tagged in it every 6 months or so ever since. So that was a pretty good moment.
Obviously, talking about MMA, you've been a veteran in the sport. There's a lot of troubles that fighters have physically, obviously, but what do you think was harder within MMA, the physical side or the mental side
Oh, the
of
mental
fighting?
side's easy. There's no challenge with the mental side. I never got how people get mentally. It was no problem with that at all. Physical side, you just have to be an athlete, and then you have to be good at a sport, and that is difficult. Well, whatever sport you're good at, being good and staying close to the top is damn near impossible because our bodies are on a time, on a clock. They will fall apart someday, and with our profession, we're actively trying to make our bodies fall apart. So
Yeah,
it's all the physical part was, although not hard, it was just constant.
talking about physical side of the sport, you've trained with obviously some of the best in the world. Who do you think was the biggest physical specimen that you've trained with?
I've trained with Nagano more than once, but Dan Henderson is an animal. Dan Henderson is, I think he just turned 60 or 61. That man could still beat the best in the world.
Sam, you've
Obviously,
been oh, Sam, you've been like an MMA fighter for such a long time. Compared to that time to now, how would you say the sports evolved the most? In what aspect would you say it's evolved the most?
Management. It has evolved the most in management. When I was fighting, a fight was offered, you say, yeah, okay. And then you go and you win or lose, and you just do that all the time. Now there are freaking amateur fighters out there that have to have their management say, no, not this fight, not at this time, not at this way. It's like, dude, just show up and fight. It is ridiculous how much managers have gotten into the sport and watered down the talent.
I mean, yeah, Sam, you're right. Sport has changed, maybe for the better or the worse. People can argue, but looking back at your career and some of the opponents, some of the names you fought some absolute legends across your career. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna ask you to blind rank opponents based on toughness. So we're gonna give you 5 names, and we want you to just rank them from 1 to 5 based on toughness. So
Oh,
I'm gonna give you the
who's
first
toughest,
name.
1 or 5?
One.
One's toughest. Okay.
Yeah.
You choose where you put them. First name, Brendan Allen.
Brendan Allen, he was tough in his own regard because it was 3 days' notice I fought him, and it was up a weight class. So that was a tough one. I'm gonna put him right in the middle because he was tough, but there was a little twist in it.
Okay, so that's 3, I suppose. You put him at 3.
Yes.
Name on my list, Derek Brunson.
Derek, I'm gonna put him at 2 because that son of a gun was supposed to wrestle me, but he punched me in my face instead. That son of a fuck. If I knew he was gonna punch me, I would have not let it happen.
Right, so you put Brunson at 2, Brendan Allen at 3. I'm going to give you now Ryan Spann.
Ryan Spann, I'm gonna put it at 4. Right, I liked Ryan. Maybe I put him at 5. I'll put Spann at 5. Now it's not a knock on Spann. I liked him quite a bit, but that was one of the fights I got robbed on. He was good. He didn't hit particularly hard. He was big, and it was a fight I still won.
Yeah, right. Next name, Rashad Evans.
Rashad Evans. That fight, I'm gonna put it at a 4. I'm gonna put him 4, and it was either 4 or 1. I got to put him at 4. There's no disrespect to him either. He was tough and all, but it was really just a wrestling match. For 15 minutes, he shot on me, and I stuffed every takedown.
Right, and final name, Jimmy Crute.
Jimmy Crute, I think one's a good spot for him. He was tough. It was a terrible stoppage. Mark Goddard got me again, but it was a hell of a kick he caught me with. It was a good kick.
Yeah. So obviously you've got Ryan Spann and Rashad Evans both at 4. If you could put one of them at 5, who would you put at 5?
I'll put Spann at 5. I'll put Spann at 5.
Sam, I'm sure you watched the main event between Hamza and DDP on the weekend. What are your thoughts on people calling that fight boring? Because Hamza just dominated for the entire 5 rounds.
It was so boring. It was, oh god. So I'm karate combat. Karate combat is the best rule set in combat sports. You get takedowns and then stand that up. The most boring part of every fight is the parts on the ground. Takedowns are great. Some real quick jujitsu is great, but jujitsu is boring and wrestling is boring. to
Sam,
watch.
I am so glad you said that, because Robert Whittaker came out and said
I saw that.
Robert Whittaker came out and said, everybody that says this fight was boring, you're a casual.
Yeah, I think he was just, hey, shoot it. Yeah, Australia, they watch it in the morning, huh? So he wasn't drunk. So he wasn't drunk. That fight it was terrible. Oh my goodness. It surprised me. I didn't think Hamza would be able to get that takedown 5 rounds in a row. But he didn't even slow down.
I mean, Sam, you mentioned how the rules are in karate combat. Do you think that's something the UFC should implement themselves for fights?
No, I think it is a better way to be, but I don't think they should be changing anything. UFC is set, they've got a good way. I would like to see Pride had the best rules. I liked Pride, where you did
Yeah.
the 10-minute round to begin with. I would like to see him go back to that. They never will, but I would like to see it.
Habib mentioned that he was thinking that they should just abolish rounds in general and just have one 25-minute round. What are your thoughts on that?
It would. The problem is if we get a Chimaev versus DDP, then it's 25 minutes of them just slowly getting tired and getting taken down.
Yeah.
I would like to see it every now and then, but I don't need 25 minutes.
Sam, which current UFC fighters get you off your feet the most? Who do you enjoy watching?
It's always my friend more than anyone else. With Sean Strickland, Chris Curtis, I love watching them. The more I know the guy, the more I want to see them win. I don't know, although I don't know who's the heavyweight champ, Tom Aspinall. I don't know him, but he's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And that he
Do you think?
scared John Jones into retirement just makes his legacy even greater.
I was just going to ask about that. So you believe John Jones ducked Tom Aspinall as well then?
How could he not? John Jones retired because Nagano wanted to fight him. Then Jones came back. Hey, where are you going, bro? After Nagano made $10 million and became the president of Africa. Tom Aspinall, he was there saying, let's do it. And for 2 years, John Jones found every excuse in the world not to fight him. And I am so happy. I'm not a John Jones fan. I think he has cheapened our sport. I think he's one of the worst champions we've ever had. He's a cheater. He's a dirty cheater. And he's made our sport worse. But for 2 years, he came out. He came up with every reason not to fight Tom Aspinall. No, I want to fight retired and coming off a loss, Stipe. Oh, I got hurt. All right. Well, I'm still gonna only fight Stipe a year from now. It was embarrassing, and I'm so happy he did it because now everybody else looks at him the same way I do.
Sam, obviously we're talking about your career. You fought Antonio Nogueira in Brazil. What was that like? That must have been crazy.
Brazil is intense. Brazil, you go out there and they all chant. I'm going to cuss, but it'll be in Portuguese, so nobody will understand it. They all say Via Montecu and Via Moher. Via Montecu and Via Moher. One of them is go F yourself, and the other is you're going to die. I don't remember which one's which. But they chanted as you're walking out, Via Moher, Via Moher, Via Moher. And they are with their brother. They are with their countrymen.
Sam, you fought longer than basically anyone has in MMA. What's one advice you give to young fighters?
Learn the nutrition early. Like it's not learn it. Like don't just assume it. Don't take someone's word for it. Learn the nutrition. Learn how to eat, when to eat, what to eat. Learn that because that will help you and prolong your career so much.
Right. Sam, just touching on the UFC now. Dana White announced recently that they're moving to Paramount Plus next year. What do you make of that UFC being on streaming now?
It's going to be huge. That is going to be massive for the fighters. So the UFC pays a lot. They do. I mean, everyone likes to complain about it, but the UFC pays a ton, and I am thrilled with the pay structure. And the pay is consistently going up. Now that we don't have to worry about the pay-per-views, now that we're going to have so many more eyes on every UFC event, the fighters are going to become superstars faster than you ever thought. They're going to have the next McGregor come out of this because so many more people are going to be watching him. McGregor made people watch him. Now the opportunity for everyone to watch UFC fighters is going to be there.
How big
Sam,
of a deal was the pay-per-view buys though for the fighters who obviously had that into their contract? Obviously, they're not going to have that anymore. Do you think that would affect them?
The only one it would affect is the main event. Nobody else got. I mean, I guess, or the title holders, not even the main
Yeah.
event. Title holders. I don't care about them. I wasn't a title holder.
Sam, when you
I'm
say
sure they're
that,
going to have far bigger bargaining chip now.
Sam, when you say that this new model is going to bring out more stars, is that just a case of more casual fans watching on Paramount because it's free?
Yes, yeah, that's how the UFC kind of sort of got its real start, was the Ultimate Fighter. They found a way to sneak the Ultimate Fighter, sneak fighting onto table where people could watch it, and that's where fans were born. Now, of
Yeah,
course, you've got the hardcore fans who paid for the VHS tape back in 1993, but you snuck it in on a TV show, and it's when the UFC exploded. That was the turning point of the
yeah,
UFC.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus could have that same thing. A casual viewer will turn it on because it doesn't cost them anything anymore.
Yeah.
yes.
Sam, what role did your family play in your career?
I wouldn't have had my career without my family. Like I was a band nerd. I didn't care. I enjoyed fighting and I enjoyed doing it for $200. Because my then fiance, now wife, said, "Listen, you've got the opportunity to do this for real. Do it for real." And so she sent me out to California. That's where I got better. That's where I learned how good I could be, and that's where I am today. And now, I mean, she's been in my corner for every fight.
Sam, so how does one turn from a band nerd to a fighter?
She got me. I did damn sure. It took a lot of work. I don't know if it could be done again. Like the sport has grown so much. I don't know if it could be done again.
Yeah.
Apparently I've got a decent chin and I hit real hard. And those two attributes I had, I was not athletic, but those two attributes I had were enough to carry me forward.
Brilliant.
Sam, when you was coming into the sport, who was one of your like inspirations or one of your favorite fighters when you was coming into the sport?
Jackie Chan and the Ninja Turtles. I had never watched them. No idea. I couldn't have told you that it's been Mike Tyson and Chuck Liddell. I had no idea.
Chuck
Speaking
Liddell.
of movies, Sam, if Hollywood ever approached you about doing Sam Alvey, the movie, who would you cast to play you?
People say The Rock looks a lot like me, so yeah, we'll throw him in.
I can see it. I can see it. I can see it.
Right? Yeah.
He's doing the Smash Machine with about Mark Kurt, so you might have to pick a different actor there, Sam.
Brad Pitt. I'll settle for Brad Pitt. I'm okay with that too.
Sam, did you ever train with Chael?
Yeah, I've trained with Chael a couple times. He and I, we chat every now and then. Every time he's got something going up, I give him a text and vice versa. Chael's great.
Yeah. Chael's a friend of mine. Yeah, I'll actually tell him I spoke to you. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, no, he'll love it. I love Chael. He is. So I met him once at a Team Quest because Dan Henderson was my coach. He was out there, and we trained for like a day ish. Then like 2 years later, I was at some random event with the UFC, and Chael was across the hall. Like I'd spoken to him once before. He cleared the hall, pushed people out of him to come say hi to me, and it was the greatest. I said, "Oh my god, this is incredible," and I was hooked on him. It was like then I am now Team Chael forever.
Brilliant.
Sam, during your time at the UFC, was there a fighter that you really wanted to fight but didn't get the opportunity to?
I always wanted to fight Michael Bisping. Again, my coach is Dan Henderson, and Dan beat him twice. I would have liked to have seen how I did. I am not Dan Henderson, but I think it would have been a really fun fight.
Sam, obviously you've built quite a reputation of being a fan favorite and one of the most likable guys in the sport. But outside the cage, what do you want your legacy to be?
My family. My family's all that matters. I've got a couple records, and I'll be the first Karate Combat double champ forevermore. But honest, 50 years after I die, nobody's gonna remember Smiling Sam, but my kids will, my grandkids will, my great grandkids will. That is my legacy. MMA is a lot of fun. I have a good time, but I do it so I can provide for my family. That will be my longest legacy. Other than that, I'll be a Google search that nobody does 50 years after I'm dead. 20 years.
That's what matters, Sam. That's what matters in the end.
Wise words.
Sam, looking into the future, obviously you fought in May. When do you think you're going to be next out there?
As soon as I can, I'm ready. I am always ready. I stay training year round. I don't go to camp. The only thing that really changes for me in camp is I eat less. I eat more strategically. So I'm just getting it ready as fast as I can, and hopefully something pops up sooner than later.
But before you go, Sam, let me just get one in there in regards to Karate Combat. Obviously, Luke Rockhold fought Joe Schilling. What did you think of that fight?
I thought Joe Schilling dog walked Rockhold, and Rockhold landed a lucky punch. I'll say lucky. It's not lucky. It was a good punch. But Luke Rockhold looked like garbage. Like, going into round 2, I said, "Oh my God, Schilling is doing what he wants to him." And then
Yeah.
Schilling got caught, and that was the end. That's the name of the sport. But Rockhold looked terrible.
Yeah,
Speaking on Luke's fighting Darren Till and Misfits, have you seen that? And who do you think is going to win that fight?
I did see it. Who's going to win? Rockhold is significantly bigger. But Rockhold, I'm saying Till. And I called both of those guys out in Karate Combat. I called them both out. I'm going to say Till. He's more active. I think he's a better boxer. I think Till's going to win this. And
Would you ever
Rockhold's got that quit in him. Rockhold will quit.
I don't know if you can shine some light on this for us, Sam. Did Darren Till actually get an offer from Karate Combat? Because there was rumours that he did.
I think he did. I don't know. I won the belt. I called out Darren Till, and then Darren Till and I tweeted back and forth at one another. He said, "Hey, if they want me to fight, I'll fight you. They just got to pay me." So I don't know if an offer came in and it wasn't high enough for him, or if the offer never came. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Would you ever go on Misfits, Sam, to fight anyone?
I don't know what Misfits is, but I'll go anywhere to fight anyone.
Right, Sam, we don't want to keep you too long. We know you're a busy man. We want to thank you once again for taking the time out of your day to do this. We really appreciate it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was the smiling Sam Alvey. Thank you very much.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank
I
you,
really
Sam.
appreciate
Cheers,
it.
mate.
Pleasure, mate. It's been a pleasure.